Have you ever had a moment of startling clarity where you realize you've been performing more than living? You find yourself saying what's expected of you instead of what's true. Perhaps you notice you are smiling on the outside when you're breaking on the inside. You recognize that you are being agreeable when your whole body wants to say no. That moment of realization can be disorienting and deeply uncomfortable, because this is the moment you begin to see the mask you've been wearing. The version of you that's been strategizing how to belong, how to be enough, how to stay safe. If this sounds familiar, stay with me. I'm Sara Raymond from the Mindful Movement. What you're noticing isn't failure, it's awareness. And awareness is always the first doorway to healing. What I described is the strategic self, and it is not wrong. It was developed by a younger you who needed to survive, to be accepted, to keep the peace. This younger version of you adapted. It performed. It read the room and adjusted accordingly. That version of you deserves compassion, not criticism, because it worked until it didn't. It worked until the performance became a prison. It worked until the masks got too heavy and you were exhausted. It worked until you forgot what your own voice sounded like underneath it all. The shift back to your authentic self begins right here, right now. It begins with noticing. It begins with soft, curious awareness. It begins with asking, is this who I really am, or who I think I need to be? Here's something important. This shift is not instant. It's not linear, and it's not always comfortable. Because your nervous system has been wired around the safety of that strategy. And learning to live from your truth means letting go of control, perfectionism, or people-pleasing. And that requires your whole system to recalibrate. So if you find yourself slipping back into the mask, if you hear yourself performing while it's happening, that doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're aware. And awareness is enough to begin shifting. Awareness is enough to begin choosing a different option. You are not meant to snap your fingers and become fully authentic overnight. You are meant to slowly shift the balance, to spend more minutes, more hours, more days rooted in what is real, to allow your authenticity to take up a little more space than it did yesterday. And some days it will feel natural. Other days, it may feel like a risk, because authenticity doesn't guarantee acceptance, but it does invite alignment. And living in alignment, even when it's quiet, even when it's messy, is where your peace lives. So if you're waking up to the masks you've worn, don't rush to rip them off. Thank them, and then gently begin to set them down. The you underneath is still here, still whole, still waiting to be met. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more of who you've always been. You were not born to perform. You were born to belong and to be yourself. If this message found you in a moment of awakening, I've linked a meditation below to support you. A space to breathe, to soften, to begin again, this time as the real you. I leave you with much love and gratitude.